Hello. Let's start the game. What the hell is going on? Once upon a time, there was a humble recluse. Though they had no need for society, they did often find themselves home to a loneliness that they could never quite shake. In the morning, the sun would rise. At night, it would set. The recluse would observe this splendor, knowing that the sight would be made all the more beautiful by having someone to share it with. Only if the person you're sharing it with is actually worth spending time with, but that's just my opinion, I suppose. It wasn't that they desired a relationship, perhaps it was a flame that had burned them one too many times, or perhaps they were simply disinterested. No, a child, that's what they wanted, someone to take care of, to teach. Unfortunately, it was a longing that could not be found, not in these woods alone. However, we are never quite as alone as we think, are we? One day a witch appeared, as if drawn by the intensity of the recluse's desire. The lumber that the recluse had spent the morning gathering slipped through her hands as they spotted her, the witch of the woods. What does a witch of the woods do? Like, does she just make spells and potions in the woods? Now I think about it, like, there's so many shows about witches and stuff that I've completely forgotten what witches do. There's, like, so many things that twist, like, the concept of witches around. Sometimes they're, like, these cool, like, magical girls, but discount, or they are magical girls that they're called witches, or they're just, like, straight up demonic entities straight from hell. She began to speak. You do desire a child, yes? For some, those are quite easy to come by. But not you, it would seem. Let us make a deal, then. If you do 3 simple chores for me, I will present you with a daughter of your very own. Sure, why not? What are the chores? The recluse, caught up in a moment of naivety, quickly agreed. The witch, knowing that the recluse was destined to accept, simply nodded and began to deliver the first of these so-called chores without hesitation. Well, alright, guess we are a bit eager for it. Your child will come into this world with little to her name. Let us even the scales. Bring me an heirloom, something she will forever value. The recluse thought on it briefly, searching through their home for the object they had pictured. Your most used skillet, a dark withered tomb, a hairbow from your previous daughter, blackened with age. That feels kind of depressing, kind of like she's a replacement. So no, dark weathered tomb. Do I really want her to be a bookworm? Your most used cast iron skillet. Which one would hurt more if you hit it with someone? A dark weathered tomb or an iron skillet? Again, I would like a smart daughter. So, guess we're doing this. Once it had been said to the recluse that knowledge is power. They weren't sure about that. Books often contain fanciful things that the recluse never got much use out of. Oh yeah, I understand the feeling. Oh yeah. But perhaps they would be more useful to their daughter. Yeah, I learned how to tie a freaking square knot with just one hand to impress, like, surgical proctors for an exam, even though I'm not in medical school. So, I just have that skill now. It's not useful at all. It's kind of useful tying trash bags, but not as useful as you think. Bringing their prize back to the witch, she simply gave a smile. How perfect. After the brief encounter to meet with the witch, the recluse resumed their normal day-to-day schedule. The second day, the recluse slept more soundly that night than they had in ages. Having a purpose again soothed them, even they had found themselves caught up with a witch. Is this witch supposed to be a good person or a bad person, a creepy person or like just creepy or like actually evil, or they elected not to think about that, though. Instead, when the morning came, they simply did what they had to do, which is to say, they got up and went to meet with the witch. Upon watching the recluse's approach, a sardonic smile lit the witch's face. I forgot what sardonic meant. Sardonic. It means kind, forced, unnatural. An appearance of laughter. So, like, kind of creepy-ish. Is that what this is? Alright. You completed your first task admirably. 2 more, and I can finally give you what you want. She paused for only a moment before delivering her next message of import. It is important for a young person to be well grounded in this world, I hear. Bring me a jar of soil to help with this process. Keep in mind that not all dirt is the same, though. Consider the source carefully. Soil? That did sound somewhat magical, the recluse supposed. I mean, yeah, you can make clay out of it. Yeah, that's another useless skill that I learned. You can technically just make clay by seeing the soil and like how cracked it is after a rainy day. Then you can literally turn into like clay stuff and then cook it in like. And also you gotta mix up with like some sand or whatever to make sure it's good. And then you can just heat up in the kiln and like you get yourself like clay jars and stuff and whatever crafts you want to make with it, which is neat and stuff. Left with this vague prompt, they considered their options. The most picturesque section of forest you have ever set eyes upon. The witch's own front yard. Your favorite foraging nook. How cute's the witch? Should I, like, that's what I want to know. Should I, like, dig up her front yard to fill up with dirt? Imagine there's, like, some magical properties or whatever. I have, like, a tomb, a witch's, a tome, tomb, tome. Tome is, I think that's a better, I think if I say tome and tomb the same way, then... So tome. So I have a tome, a black dark tome. The witch's own front yard. I'll take my favorite foraging nook. The nook was just on the outskirts of the forest, but conveniently hidden from curious villagers. When in need, the spot had never let the recluse down. This time was no different, as dirt was there in abundance. Arriving back at their meeting place, the recluse was excited to share their selection with the witch. Couldn't we have just, like, mixed up a bunch of dirt from different kinds of places? Or would that just make, like, our mushroom Musume, like, disabled or something? Because her world's kind of, like, in 3 different places all at once. So that's what you picked, eh? Very well. It shall do. Feeling the need to scrub their skin, the recluse retired to their hut to cleanse themselves. The 3rd day. With 2 assignments complete, the recluse could feel their excitement grow. If this witch was being honest, and for some reason they felt that she was, then that meant that this could be the last night they spent without a child. They hoped so, at least. That was all they could do. Barely remembering to get dressed. No, I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's just the proper way to do life, but, you know, nothing's actually stopping anyone from going buck naked. The recluse dashed to the meeting spot. Again, the witch had been waiting there for them. Welcome back, recluse. Are you prepared? Today is your big day, is it not? The last task is an easy one, or at least I believe so. Bring me something colorful. Something bright that you think will suit her. When they were first told of the 3 tasks, the recluse had imagined things that were much more difficult. This seemed so easy as to be a trick, which, they supposed, only meant they should take it seriously, as if a mistake could mean death. With death in mind, the recluse needed to decide where to search for color. I personally would like to paint stuff. Field of flowers, a stony river. Whoa, 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 wait, 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 wait. I was gonna choose the field of flowers. And just wasn't sure. Well, alright, guess we're gonna have to do this. Almanac. Um. Overwrite game color. No, no, I don't want that. Never mind. Although underwater wasn't the first place most people thought of for color, the recluse understood there were many shades that people failed to consider. What kind of dyes and stuff could we make with it? I would have preferred the field of flowers because that's like what you usually make to make paint, right? Then again, the sea is filled like beautiful shells and stuff too. They arrived at a nearby river, glancing into the glassy water to spy a variety of small shining stones. Well, you know what? I guess it doesn't matter too much that I made a mistake. Sometimes some people were born in an accident, and well, me having the personal experience of having that happen, or rather, I was the happening. Uh, I don't see what's the big issue. May as well see what the fuck happens. A strange, almost bloody stone. Obsidian, dark ghosts of ancient fire. Turquoise, prized symbols of luck and fortune. Garnet, lost heralds of bygone storms. Brimstone, a yellowed alchemic wonder. Yellow alchemic wonder. That feels very. That really makes. I'm torn between turquoise, prize symbols of luck and fortune, because that's very good. And I'm not sure about Garnet. Garnet lost maroon heralds of bygone storms or brimstone. I'm gonna choose brimstone. Why not? For some reason, the recluse seemed intrigued by the lump of sulfur in the water. Some claim there to be magical properties in the rock, but as they brought it back to the witch, they just felt it looked neat. Discovered yellow. The recluse returned to the witch's hut, colored item in hand. She silently took the object, nodding her head to the recluse in recognition. The recluse stood there for a moment, unsure, before finally the witch realized what they expected. Recluse my mind blanked. What they expected. Oh, ho, ho! You want your promised daughter, don't you? Her voice was almost mocking. But at least it was not overtly cruel. I suppose I must tell you that I lied, human. I do require several more trifling things from you. First is the matter of payment. The recluse should have known that everything is for a cost. Pay me now with wealth. Pay me now with life. Pay me sometime soon in larger quantities. Pay me at a much later date in the way I choose. With life? I mean, I can pay you now with wealth. Does it matter how I go about it? Will this affect their development or how... I wonder. I don't know. What does it mean by paying with life? That feels very intriguing. Oh, well, I mean, I don't have much of a life to, waste, so, I mean, if you are willing to take that, then, life or wealth. I can spend either of these. Wealth or life? Wealth or life? Which one matters more, my wealth or my life? I have honestly neither of those, so I really couldn't tell you which one's more important. Actually, no. I don't care that much about money. I care about my own sanity and life than I care about making money at work. As I slowly become more and more insane, I genuinely believe that my life is worth more. So, they offered their purse to the witch, and she took it wordlessly. After pocketing the whole pouch, she returned a single coin to the recluse's hand. Why, thank you. You're not too cruel yourself. I'll gladly take one coin for myself. It will be a lucky coin. This will be sufficient. The witch smiles. Of course. With the payment settled, the witch simply smiled and handed the recluse a small pot. Humans are tricky, but mushrooms are much more resilient. Consider this an upgrade. Don't worry. Eventually she will develop a mind. I mean, if I have a resilient daughter, I wouldn't mind either. Sure, why not? I'll take it. Simply give her time, as much as she needs. Soon your wish will be in full bloom. I suppose with all that settled, though, there is one last thing for you to consider. A young girl needs a proper name. The recluse thought on the witch's demand before offering the final thing they had to give. What is her name? Well, could go either way. I mean, when it comes to mushrooms, do people really name mushrooms? Like, fungi are pretty weird. Last time I heard about them, and they taste good, as well. And I mean, with specifically truffle, goddamn, that tastes so good. I want like so many of them. And they also give very, very interesting visuals and sensations, to say the least. So I mean, if I'm gonna go with a mushroom daughter, I like something that is tastily hallucinogenically cool, I suppose. So I wonder what I shall name her. Something warm but tasty. Something that brings comfort. Of course, I'm gonna think about food. Why not? I mean, there's like, I don't really like chips anymore, even though I bought like a huge amount of them. I'm just addicted to them at this point. I do like steak. I Food. Mushroom species. I can't think of any off at the top of my head. Truffles. And truffles. There's shiitake. There are also some other like skinny mushrooms that I liked eating. I also like seaweed when I cook them with it. I wonder what I'm gonna eat tomorrow. Probably nothing. Uh, well, I mean, I gotta fill this empty space with some conversation, or else people are gonna get bored while I decide on her name. So, anyway, how's everybody's days going? I hope that all your days have been going fairly well, unless you are like below the age of 18 and you watch a lot of TikToks and YouTube shorts and think you're funny. In that case, I kind of think you're annoying. But hopefully, my daughter here will not turn out like that. Super cringe, super dumb, have lots of brain rot. Hopefully, she eats a nice, fair diet, and so that way her brain develops very, very properly. She's also going to be very strong, capable, and hopefully isn't gonna drive me up a wall. I want her to be rather engaging. I want her to be a very, very pleasant girl to have and spend time with. And, sometimes, I guess I'm a bit stingy when it comes to people I want to deal with, but If I can mold my own daughter, pun intended, into the ideal daughter, then of course I want her to be smart, strong, capable, very, very, very pleasant to be with in various ways. And so, what is something that's very pleasant, very warm? Truffle and sun truffles, summer truffles, suffles, truffle, sun is also, there's in Chinese, Nihon, Nichi, and Jitsu, I think. Ji, Ri, 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 blah, 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 blah. Trying to combine sounds now, trying to think of various. There's the fungi kingdom. Sun. Ri. Am I gonna go with a Chinese name? I'm like, my current idea is it's gonna start with like R-I, and like Cao is like the type of food that I'd like to make, stir fry. So I'm like going Ri with like the sun. Truffles, shiitake, why were a bunch of mushrooms? I want something that else, Ri is like the sun, and I guess mushrooms are. I want something that, just has a lot of warmth to it, as well as just tasty. I am spending way too much time thinking about a name, aren't I? Ri, 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 r, 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 ri, riha. If I say like sun good, rhao, and just Americanize the pronunciation, riha, then I think that's a good name. Then she walked away, only fate knowing if the two should ever meet again. No, we can't really meet her again? Mushroompedia. So I've unlocked yellow. Somehow. I don't know what yellow means. Chapter 2, Cultivation. While the recluse was unsure of the specifics, they did realize that it was important to heed her instructions. Care for the pot and the dirt and everything that lay within. So the recluse geared up, as any parent should, and assessed the things they needed to raise a child. Finances, in case the nearby village had goods or services that you could not provide. Dealing with others, man. Do I really have to? Ugh. The idea actually disgusts me now. Nutrients for a child to help it grow strong. They would need plenty, as it would be depleted on a daily basis. Lots of meat, fish, some fair amount of vegetables. Eat healthy, motherfuckers. And finally, the recluse's own stamina could not be ignored. One cannot burn the candle from both ends indefinitely. Thus began the long growing season of the recluse's life. Oh, looks like I should probably save. Oh, surprisingly, this is all also in Ren'Py. Since this seems like, yeah, it's in Ren'Py. While tapping some trees one day, you overhear a noise. It sounds like the clinking of coins and dice. Affection. She's your daughter after all, even if she doesn't always look like much of one. If your daughter's well loved, she'll be able to improve at things more quickly. Traits potted tomb. Someday she will learn how to read it. Acceptable. For long, you manage to track down the source. A wingless fairy sitting in the eye of a tree. A human? Oh no! Now I'll be forced to gamble, the Fae cried out unconvincingly. I'm the dice Fae, you see. I have no choice but to gamble to every human that passes by. You even get to pick the stakes. The rules are simple. If I roll a 5 or less, I win. But if I roll a 6 or higher, well, that means you win. Compelling, right? Gambling with the fairy? What the hell? Why not? What do you want to offer? A coin, a significant bag of substrate, a finger, a dot. Why would I bet my daughter? Like, is that... What happens if I bet my daughter and win? Like... What happens if I win after betting my daughter? Do I get, like, a second daughter, then? And why do I want to bet a finger? Or do I get the fairy as a companion if I bet my daughter? Guess I'm gonna save Scum real quick. Let's go. The words leave your mouth before you really have the chance to think about it. It tracks you to realize that the flash of guilt quickly stinging you. There are some things a person just never gets over. You know, fairies are tricky, but you would be a bad parent to let a chance like this pass you by without even trying. Fairy grins and nods, rolling a 10-sided die. Oh well, I'm gonna lose. 6 or higher? Wait, I guess that is 50%, but... Very good, very good. I do love high stakes. Then he casts the die. I thought this was gonna be a short video after I fucking did that. What the hell? You eye the die with a certain skepticism as you see that it landed on 8. That couldn't possibly be right. After all, that would mean that you had one. And the fairy laughs anyways. Oh my goodness! I'm so happy for you, human. This is going to be such a big moment for you. His saccharine tone is strange. You don't like it. I'll just have to get you your prize. It'll take a while. Magic is temperamental, you know. But you can expect to get your luxury top-of-the-line daughter no later than summer. So I'm getting 2 daughters now? Okay, then. Goodbye, human. Enjoy your prize. You walk off, unsure how to feel. I have no idea how to feel either. So I have 2 daughters now? Hold up. Phi 1. Perhaps this is all a dream. Maybe it's best that you get home. Nutrient 6. Oh man, I probably should have betted some food. The day's gotten away from you already. The sun's gentle descent is being swallowed behind the forest's reach. You aren't able to finish everything you set out for today, but you only have time for one more chore. Finish a favor the village leader asked of you. barter some fine substrates to better grow your daughter. You already worked hard, retired to the cavern, purchased new construction materials for your hut. Um, it's going to affect my finances, so I'm going to have to do the favor the village leader asks. Doing favors for the leader is comfortable to you. It allows you the flexibility while still giving you some funds. Today is no different than usual. You herd some cats for the leader. In exchange, they pay you. How novel. Oh yay, now I have some money after blowing it all on a single mushroom. Your tasks behind you, you and your daughter return home. Each do a nice bath and a simple dinner. Am I like cleaning the dirt off of my mushroom daughter thing? Huh? Something's happening. She's shaped like an Among Us. You awaken one morning to the sound of something moving about your home. Your daughter has grown a pair of sturdy legs. The creature walks around about easily, using her new strength to push and rummage through your belongings. Her demeanor seems cute and helpful, often following you as you go about your daily tasks. Encourage her cooperation. Spend time nurturing her environment. Motivate her to do something safer. I think I should probably prepare her environment a bit more. Safer environment. Encouraging risk-taking. Or, nah, it's the environment. You decide that now's the best time to promote her growth, spending extra effort improving her living conditions. Your daughter seems to appreciate the attention and emotes cheerfully. Yay! Decision being made, life continued. Lovely. Underdeveloped and childish. Seeing mushrooms have a certain special gleam. Your daughter does not have that gleam, but she could if you raise her, right? She's not done growing yet. Nutrients. Finances. Fine one. And are expecting your daughter to return any season now. One day you hear a light knocking at your door, quite a rare occurrence. Peeking through the window, you witness none other than the Witch of the Woods standing on the doorstep of your humble hut. Is this about me betting my own daughter immediately once I got her? Could she be here for a visit or to settle a debt? Introduce her to your daughter. Privately request a stipend. I'm gonna introduce her to my daughter. I have enough money for now, I think. Perhaps it was a time for your daughter to meet the witch. She could maybe even learn a thing or two. The two of you answer the door and invite the gloomy woman inside for dry and awkward small talk. Something about the way the two absently stare at each other. You wonder if they made some sort of connection today. Did they? Decision being made, life continued. A flock of hungry birds have been harassing both your crops and your daughter recently. In fact, they've become quite a nuisance. Ignore the birds. Purchase some. I don't want to spend some finance, so I kind of want to fetch your bow and hunt the birds. You retrieve your bow and are lucky to leave with not one, but two birds from the flock. They shouldn't show up again for a while. Your daughter may rest. Nothing could be done to the birds. Nothing more could be done to the birds. The matter was laid to rest. Huh? Damn, already? Trait, whatever. Your daughter has changed in the night. What is this shape? One morning, you notice that your daughter is nowhere to be seen. After searching, you find a massive clump of mushrooms resembling your daughter's protruding in a small clearing. Brushing away some of the freshly turned soil around, you can see the top of your daughter's head, having seemingly undergone a transformation. She twitches in response to your probing, and shifts until the earth again covers her head. Wait for her, buy her a nice gift to celebrate, dig her out. I don't want to dig her out. Guess I'll buy her a nice gift to celebrate. I have the money. The day feels like a momentous achievement, so you tell your daughter you're going to the village to buy her a present. At the mention of presents, she quickly unburies herself, revealing that she has now taken the form of a young girl. The two of you head back to prepare for a trip into town. At her request, you take your daughter out for a nice meal, and despite some strange looks from the locals, she thoroughly enjoys the outing. Oh, that's good. Oh my god, she's gonna be shining soon. Awesome. I'm gonna need a fucking rest soon, though. Decision meeting made, life continued. I really am gonna need a rest. I only have 2 stamina, 4 nutrients. I guess it's not that bad yet. How do I... Oh, then again, I increase my nutrients a bit with my finance, so that I need to worry about my stamina now. One evening, you will discover many footprints outside your home. 3-toed and webbed. Some strange creatures have been poking around. Webbed 3-toed... How big are they? Are they foxes or wolves? You have heard the rivers of these woods are home to nefarious turtle-like creatures that capture human children, only to bring them home and drown them. Kappa? Your child isn't a human, but you can feel the leer of envious eyes from the tree line. They know a precious daughter when they see one. For real? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Do I, like, have a... I have to... Oh god, my stamina. I can't hunt them. I don't think I can. By the looks of the tracks, these ones are quite young. Perhaps you can do something to frighten them away from your home. Hunt one of them. Purchase a magic ward. Deal with the issue decisively. Keep your daughter inside in the evenings. Stand guard until they stop. I want to murder them. I kind of want to murder them. But they're also young too. Do I want a peaceful approach or can I kill them? Will there be a severe consequence if I murder them? Can I kill them all? Purchase a magic ward. I don't have the energy to keep going. There are always market stalls to be found catering to the cautious and superstitious folk who want to deter evil creatures. You head into town to procure some charms, irregular pearl beads strung through warded strings, and quickly go about hanging them around the tree line. The ward seems to work perfectly, as the footprints and beady-eyed stares cease. Your daughter is safe, for now. Decision being made, life continued. Let me sleep. Oh god. The weather is nice and you're feeling up to doing some foraging today. It may be easier if you focus on something specific before you head out. Take your daughter foraging for plants, send your daughter alone to gather ferns while you relax. Take your daughter out foraging, leave your daughter at home and go without her. I need to... I don't have the stamina for it. I want to spend more time with her, but I don't have the energy. Sorry, daughter. Good luck. You inform your daughter that today she'll be venturing further into the forest alone than she normally does. At first she seems a bit scared, but eventually her desire to please you beats out the fear. She comes home tired and haggard, but she did manage to find some ferns, plus she's stronger for facing her fears too. Oh man. Her heart. Ah. Well, I mean, she's gotta be a bit strong too. So, I'll take it. A reunion. Oh, I'm gonna. I'll make a second save point in case I want to save scum that last point again. A reunion. One night you find yourself unable to sleep. Your thoughts are consumed by something foolish. Thoughts of Phi. In particular, you contemplate your encounter with the one who called himself the Gambling Fairy. The bet that you seem to have won, don't you mean? Oh well. He told you, your daughter would be returned to you by the end of the summer. And temperatures had been dropping lately. As though nature was toying with you, this lonesome daydreaming was interrupted suddenly by a cold gust of wind. However, you had left no door or window open. You jump out of bed to investigate, accepting that perhaps the girl was up to something. That wasn't unlike her after all. You find the front door open, and you step into the night to investigate. From the edge of your vision, you see something approaching. You can hear a shrill voice in the back of your head. Here she is, recluse. Have fun. What steps towards you from out of shadow renders your brain useless. Like a pair of bonded sisters, you see your daughters before you, the younger girl clinging to her lost sibling, as though they were one. They give you a smile, but you can give nothing in return. In a new beginning. What happened? What? It's dark. You wake after a long, unusually fulfilling rest. You are unsure of how you got here, but you know that you want out, so you begin to dig. After escaping what appears to be a small wooden box and pulling yourself up through the dirt, you find that you're in an area you recognize near the edge of the woods. You blink feebly, getting used to experiencing the world through a new set of senses. The recluse is surely worried about you, so after a few moments you hurry home. Something different about how the recluse treats you when you return. They hold you tightly in a warm embrace, but suddenly talks about you leaving home makes you wonder if you've upset them somehow. But faster than you could have ever anticipated, the two of you build your home together. The recluse shows you all the tricks they know and makes sure to impart as much knowledge as they possibly can. Family day arrives and you are officially on your own. You're scared, a little, but also excited. Feels like a new chapter is just beginning for you. Chapter 3, A Girl on Her Own. Okay, let me get some info. Parasitic fungus that infests the body and mind of a host. Found siblings, domineering and monstrous. Dampness, mycelium. You are bonded with a human body. You have never been healthier, and nothing will ever be able to change that. Monstrous. You are feared by humans for your appearance or your actions. I mean, come on. I'm like... Cards and tokens. Nope. Wealth. Everything come in the world. Use this purchase goods. Tokens. Expendable. Nope. Nope. Of course, there's any choices you have to make. Life. Bookworm. Thankfully, you've been reputation relative obscurity. You have grown into a young woman unexpectedly. Into a young woman. Yeah, I think that's a bit quite literal. Mystic bond. Loving parent. For the recluse to always live in your heart and for the time being next door. Awesome. So I guess we're playing as the girl. Then Jesus, what is this? All those dampness, how inside on her body is, but also murkiness of her soul. Right, nutrients, how healthy she is, persistent optimism, robustness. Strength could be a strength of character. Humanity. Well, aimlessly wandering one day, you decide that the best use of your time would be to do some scouting. It's always useful to expand your mental map of the area. The country near your home is lush, with many diverse landscapes to be found. You decide to head to the north, toward a particularly damp, dense forest that's home to a variety of useful plants. As a child, this is where you knew to get medicine plants from, but there was a danger there as well. You step into the forest, feeling a humid breeze on your fungal cheek. There's an omnipresent buzz of insects pervading the air. This section of forest feels much different than where you live, and you find that it's hard to feel at peace. Despite this, the flora and fauna is resplendent. You find yourself looking from plant to plant. Finally, you see something quite interesting. A beautiful large pink flower stands tall in the nearby clearing. The petals are twisted, forming a large, sparkling bud that's larger than your head. The single flower is the distinction of the plant, but you observe that its stalk is robust and strangely segmented. It feels a bit like a monolith. What kind of flower? I can't recognize the perspective on this. It looks like a looming flower monster over my head. For a moment, you simply stand and stare at it. Something about this strange plant leaves you with a feeling of awe. You suspect that you may be able to sell this flower in the market for quite a pretty penny, or perhaps keep its splendor for yourself. Leave it, pick the flower. Nope, I don't want to. I want to pick the flower, why not? In time, if left alone, the flower will eventually die here. When you think about it, there's really no harm in taking it from these woods. Without spending much too long in thought, you walk up to the plant and grab the flower by the stem. I don't see why I want to, like... When you do, so the flower opens its eye. Hello there! This, understandably, gives you quite a shock. You leap back, seeing the flower unfold in front of your own eyes. It takes you a moment of processing and understand, but finally you make the connection. This is not a plant at all. It is a beast. Its eyes are large, still haloed by a shadow they had initially attracted you. To be frank, it's hard to entirely understand the shape of it in the commotion. You do understand that it has a hefty central mass, mossy green and camouflaged in with stems and stalks. You also come to understand this body itself is not a solid form, as it splits horizontally down the middle. Inside is an array of sharp and uneven white stones. Oh, in another second, you understand these too. Teeth. Before it could make itself even more known to you, you figured it was time to do something. Try to fight, flee. Murder. The creature has a certain home field advantage, so you decide to give it something it won't expect. Your fist! Before things can escalate, you wind your fist back and let it loose directly into the creature's eyeball. Your strength shocks you and your fist goes through the eyes as if you were punching a melon. Woo! This is quite surprising. You find yourself unable to do anything but stand there for a second, just trying to comprehend the situation. Meanwhile, the creature seems to be withdrawing. Hell yeah. I want the flower still. I've done enough damage. Would it be a good idea to hunt it down and kill it? Which one do I want to do? Also, I didn't get the shiny quality because I didn't spend enough time with my daughter. Oh no. Or maybe if I save Scum, I could probably do something with it. I guess I'm gonna have to make a third save just to see if, like, if I spend, like, my final moments with my daughter without, you know, like, just, like, trying to help her, use my last bit of energy to, like, take care of her. I've done enough damage. After a second of staring at your fist in disbelief, you decide that this confrontation has gone on for long enough. There's no point in holding a confrontation for any longer than we have to. You rush home, trying to wipe your hand off the whole way. Even after hours of soaking scrubbing, a certain sliminess prevails. There's a knock on your door. When you go to answer it, you see a woman dressed in a somewhat tacky dress. Oh, hi. I'm from the nearby town, and I came here on behalf of all the local mothers. This introduction leaves you feeling a little uneasy. As she continues speaking, you sense that she's clearly feeling emotion of fear. Oh. They were hoping that we could convince you to come out and, you know, show off a little for the kids? Show them, the real you? Is that something you'd be interested in? We could provide lunch, obviously. After some more nervous chat, the woman writes down a location on a small piece of paper and thrusts it into your hands. Afterwards, she all but runs away. You consider this strange woman and her strange invitation. Suppose you'll attend. Why don't we attend? Why not? Merely some part of you feels compelled to attend. Perhaps some small obligation to help children. Or maybe just a thought that if you introduce yourself to a lot of them at once, they wouldn't trouble you if they saw you in the woods later. Oh yeah, I guess that also kind of benefits me. Quickly, the day of the event arrives. You gussy yourself up, or at least as much as possible for a girl like you, and make the calm walk to the village schoolhouse. As you enter, it takes you a second to really take in the scene. There's nearly a dozen children of varying sizes and ages, a few older humans standing around the edges of the room, and a table with some very rudimentary foods on it. You correctly identify this as the provided lunch. As you go take a piece of bread, one of the adults grabs your shoulder. Oh, thank goodness you showed up. I wasn't sure if you would... why don't we go ahead and stand up front? Does that sound good? You would have preferred some lunch first. You agreed to the plan. You stand in front of the room, in front of a dark board with white scribblings on it. The children turn silent, all staring at you white-eyed. Yeah, hi there. Finally, a number of hands shoot up. One of the parents interprets. They raise their hand if they have something they'd like to ask you. What a polite system. You look over to the crowd, deciding who to pick. You point out a random child, bald and with too large of a grin. He speaks fast, but you decipher the question. What's your favorite color? Literally any other color. I don't see what's wrong with yellow. The children's eyes lit up. Your response met with oohs and ahs. I knew it, one of them states confidently, sitting in a seat with pride. You're glad you can meet their expectations, you suppose? You spent a while answering questions from the children. Finally, after a while, one of the adults speaks. It looks like we have time for one more question. It's hard to say, but you get the impression that they seemed unenthused with this experience so far. You suspect that they thought your answers would be more exciting, or perhaps more frightening for the children. Nevertheless, they seemed full of questions for you. Once more, you point at a random child, a boy with a snotty nose. He slowly asks, Do you really pick your teeth with the bones of dead children? Yes. Okay. It would be funny if I did that. It's a snotty-nosed child, right? Should I? And monster. I'll start out with kind stuff. They haven't done anything to particularly offend me yet. For a second, you aren't sure how to answer. Do you have teeth in the same way that they do? After a brief glance around the classroom, keeping an eye out for particularly toothy children, you come to suspect that you do have teeth. Now that you know the full context of the question, you feel much more confident denying their claims. For the record, the children seemed relieved, but skeptical. After everyone had quieted down, the adults begrudgingly begin to pack things up. The children also begin to disappear, accompanied by a smattering of parents. Oh, the parents definitely wanted to try and sabotage me, didn't they? Pricks. One adult, the woman who originally requested that you attend, walks up to you. Well, thank you for coming, I suppose. She pauses. But we were hoping you'd be a bit more, well... She trails off with a shrug. It's just we were all hoping to scare them a little, you know? Keeping them on the straight and narrow? Well, in any case, thank you for being so informative, I guess. And boring! One of the other adults interjects as she steps out of the room. An absolute gall to call you boring. At least the children seemed entertained, more or less. As you go home, a rogue child suddenly approaches you. Hello there. Thank you for talking to us today, mushy lady. I learned lots. Before you have a chance, the young girl leaps at you in what you can only assume was a hug. She quickly leaves with a parent, but you find yourself thankful you took the time out of your day to attend. One morning, you are out foraging when you hear ruffled voices in the distance. When you approach, you spot a rather odd group of three. The first two look like human hunters, but the other one looks to be some sort of magical being. She has tendril-like appendages that sprout from the top of her head, and her body is made of delicate hues of purple with bits of ice blue. Slowly, you begin to feel a connection with her. You suspect this may be a kind of fungal kinship. The hunters are happily chatting, but you begin to get the impression that the violet girl would really rather not be with them. Attempt to eavesdrop, may as well play it safe. When you attempt to sneak into a nearby bush, you trip, letting out a yelp as you fall. The hunters immediately become alerted and begin to ready their bows. The violet girl takes this chance to flee, leaving you to be chased around by the hunters for a while. Gee, thanks. You feel a crisp breeze. The heat is relenting. Trees are changing in color. Fall has arrived. As you take an evening stroll through the nearby woods, you happen to overhear something of a loud commotion. When you approach the noise, you're able to see the situation more clearly. Two teenage miscreants seem to be harassing a child. You know, let's try and solve this peacefully. For now. Seeing the larger children pick on the smaller child strikes you as an injustice. Without any delay, you step through the bush until you are close enough to speak to the group. You gently yet firmly explain to them that it is wrong to treat others with cruelty, especially young children. Damn, but 10? You also make sure to mention that even you, a random forest mushroom girl, knows this. The teens mainly appear to be embarrassed that they were caught. They bashfully offer an explanation that the child is their brother and they were just giving him a hard time. But even they seem aware that it was a flimsy excuse. You leave them after forcing the teens to apologize. Mission accomplished. This is getting fun. I'm just kind of going through simulations here and there, but it's been pretty fun, though. I guess before we continue on, I would like to kind of return back to the beginning of the stuff. Settings. How do I return back to color selection? High contrast. No, I don't really care too much about that. Can I guess that's gonna have to be if I have to reopen the game type of deal. Oh well. Why don't we do that then? Give me a second to reopen my stuff. So if I load this here, right? Shit. Well, I guess that's going to be it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.